Did you ever wonder why Christmas is so important to the Western world? Did you know the Romans have everything to do with it? Join us while we explore the ancient Roman Christmas festival of the Saturnalia, and along the way discover a little bit more about the Christmas. The most famous celebration in ancient Rome was the Saturnalia. The holiday was inspired by old farming-related rituals, and it was celebrated during the winter solstice. The winter solstice is the shortest day and longest night of the year. The Romans gave the celebration's name after the god Saturn, the god of agriculture and time. Some of the original practices were offering gifts or animal sacrifices to the gods. In the beginning, the Saturnalia started as a single day, but in the late Roman Republic period, from 133 to 31 BC, it has been expanded to a whole week, starting on the 17th of December and ending in the winter solstice. And by the time that Julius Caesar proposed the Julian calendar, the last day of the celebrations will be the 25th of December. During the celebrations, all normal life stops. Work and business were put on hold. Schools and courts of law closed, and everyday social life was suspended. People decorate their homes with wreaths and other ornaments, usually made of green plants. They stopped to use their traditional togas to change to more colorful clothes known as synthesis, and the slaves didn't have to work at this time. They were allowed to participate in the festivities with everybody else, and even in some cases they sat at the head of the table while their masters served them. But most of the Romans, instead of working, spent the Saturnalia gambling, singing, playing music, feasting, socializing, and exchanging gifts. One of the most common gifts was wax taper candles called kere, a symbol of the light return after the solstice. Also, on the last day of the Saturnalia, called Sigillaria, the Romans used to give to their friends and loved ones small terracotta figures. These statuettes were frequently made in the likeness of some divinity, such as Hercules, Minerva, Apollo, Victory, and other gods. The Romans constructed the Temple of Saturn of Rome in the 4th century AD. The temple served as a ceremonial place for some of the Saturnalia celebrations, and the temple was, and its remains still are, located in the northwest corner of the Roman Forum. On the first day of the holiday, they would publicly sacrifice a young pig at the temple. There was a statue of the god Saturn inside of the temple, which traditionally had wooden bonds tied around his feet. But during the Saturnalia, these bonds were loosened as a symbol of God's given liberation. Also, many families chose among themselves a so-called mock king, or lord of misrule, the king of the Saturnalia. Usually, it was some lowly member of the family, such as a son or a daughter, for instance. This person was responsible for ruling over the chaos during the celebration, and generally creating chaos by doing things like insulting guests, wearing crazy clothing, chasing women and girls, and giving commands to his guests and other members of the family like sing naked or throw him into the water, and many other crazy stuff. The standard custom of the holiday was hiding coins or small objects in cakes, which was the method of choosing the king of the Saturnalia. But another method of choosing the role was by throwing the dice. The figure of the king of the Saturnalia served the purpose of being in contrast with the Roman figure of the paterfamilias, which was the male head of the family, which was seen by the Romans as the responsible leader of the family during all year. The idea was that the king of the Saturnalia ruled over the chaos, not the regular Roman order. During the reign of the Emperor Nero used shaved dice to cheat and ensure he would be chosen the king of the Saturnalia, even though he was already the most powerful man in the world. In ancient Rome, during the 1st century, gambling was illegal with the exception of the Saturnalia days, and about anyone could gamble, children and slaves included. Children used to gamble only using nuts. In Italy and some other countries who used to be part of Rome, this practice lives on seasonal raffle games like the Italian tombola and also bingo games, which are held during the Christmas period. And more interesting than free gambling, slavery during the Saturnalia days was reversed. Slaves took the role of their masters, who in turn assumed the role of their slaves. They wore their master's clothes, lived in their master's houses, and ate their master's food. Masters wore slaves' clothes, ate slave food, performed all domestic and farm work that was given to the slaves, and lived in the slaves' quarters. To the slaves were given the pileus hut. The hut was a Saturnalia license that permitted slaves to disrespect their masters without worrying about capital punishment. But in many homes, slaves were not allowed to have 100% role reversal privilege because many masters feared assault. Instead, the slaves were granted equal rights, and often the slaves negotiated with their masters to help each other during the time. The Roman Empire conquered most of Europe from the 2nd century BC to the 4th century AD and suppressed old seasonal rites practiced by the conquered peoples, and they passed Roman traditions and celebrations, especially the Roman Christian holiday of Christmas that took many of its traditions from the ancient Roman festival of the Saturnalia. The Bible did not give the date when Jesus was born, and there was even theories that he was born in the spring. Some scholars believe that the Persian god Mithras and the Roman god Sol Invictus had birthday celebrations in the winter solstice, which fell on the 25th of December in the Roman calendar. Mithras was the Persian god of the sun and the shining light, and Sol Invictus was considered to be the official sun god of the later Roman Empire. When the Romans converted to Christianity, they kept many of these pagan celebrations, and by the 4th century AD, the Western Christian churches settled on celebrating the Christmas on 25th of December. Pagans and Christians coexisted during this period, and it was not always a happy relation. And in 325 AD, with the conversion of the Emperor Constantine, the Romans converted en masse to the Christian religion, to later, in 308 AD, adopt as official religion of the state, and by doing so, absorbing some of the Saturnalia traditions, which represents an effort from the early Christians to convince the pagan Romans to adopt and accept that now Christianity is Rome's official religion. Therefore, before the end of the 4th century, many Saturnalia traditions such as giving gifts, singing, lighting candles, teasing, and merrymaking have been taken in by the traditions of Christmas as many of us know them nowadays. The Saturnalia was by far the jolliest of the Roman holidays. Tell us about your end of the year holidays in the comment section below. You would like to celebrate in the old-fashioned Roman way of the Saturnalia, or do you prefer the way most of us celebrate nowadays, the also traditional Roman Christian way, or even you don't celebrate at all? So, do like the Romans do and give a gift to your loved ones. And also, subscribe to our channel. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. We make videos about ancient history and discoveries. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated in our future videos. If you want to help the channel, feel free to share this video on Facebook, Reddit or other social media. We thank you. Tibi Gratias Agu, Pro Vigilabo. Io Saturnalia and Merry Christmas.